Second Bills video of the day for you guys here is we got some major news. The Bills have restructured left tackle Dion Dawkins' contract, freeing up some cap space for the 2025 NFL season. So coming up on today's show, is Brandon Beane making even more moves here? Is this got Buffalo just under the salary cap? We'll break it all down in just a moment. Let's get into it. What's going on, Mafia? You're watching the Bills Breakdown by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith, and the Bills just created under $8 million by restructuring the contract of Dion Dawkins, keeping him in town in Buffalo for the foreseeable future, protecting that blind side of Josh Allen here. And now the Bills are in a weird cap space situation because before this move, they were operating basically all offseason long over the cap after getting all their contract extensions done with the 2022 draft class with James Cook and Greg Rousseau and Christian Benford and Terrell Bernard. Well, they were over the cap, and now they created $8 million in space, and now that they are $1.5 million below the cap. So really not much room to make many moves there, right? So I want to remind you guys that this is not enough. More moves need to be coming here for the Buffalo Bills because NFL teams typically need around $4 million in cap room just to get through the season when it comes to practice squad elevations and injury designations and things of that nature. If you want to sign a free agent out there that's still looming in the NFL, you can do that. Like you need a little bit of room for some flexibility here, and the Bills are still pretty tight up against that cap. Now, Sal Capaccio also had this to say about the whole situation. He actually theorized that this restructure actually happened before the Bills' 53-man roster was being announced. So interesting there that we're just hearing about it now. Field Yates reported it earlier on Wednesday. And, the Bills now have a good deal in place for Dion Dawkins and created a little bit of cap space. They'll have to do some more working, but I like that we have Dion Dawkins here doing some team-friendly stuff here to try to manipulate the cap for Buffalo because he is an integral part of what the Bills have going on here. Over the past 3 years, he has been, I wouldn't say dominant like all-pro left tackle level, but he is absolutely an above average to great left tackle in this league. A perennial Pro Bowler. I mean, 80 PFF grades in the pass block department, pretty much across the board over the past 3 seasons, and that is an elite number to have. And look, he's not going to be the best run blocker in the world, but it's still like fairly above average there. And overall, like he's going to be an above average left tackle in this league. Clearly, when it comes to one thing that you need with Dion Dawkins, is that is protecting 17. And that is why I think Dion Dawkins is the second most important Buffalo Bill on the roster, just because of how important Josh Allen is to this roster. So I'm glad that he's thinking about the team here and thinking about the end goal here and restructuring his contract. It lowers his base salary a little bit, but he's going to get all the money that he's guaranteed. And look, he deserves it. He protects number 17, and that's all you can ask for here in your left tackle. Look, we'll get into more on this situation in just a second, but make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I want to make it clear that we are providing the best Bills coverage on YouTube all season long. I have a goal to get to 6,000 subs by week 1. By Sunday Night Football, can we get to 6,000 subscribers on the channel? We need 297 to get there. We'll also be live for that game, Bills-Ravens, Sunday night on this channel. So we'll have a pregame tailgate. We'll have live play-by-play the whole time. Join us, subscribe, turn those notifications on so you never miss a moment around your Buffalo Bills all season long. Brandon Beane has to make more room. Like I just mentioned, with the Bills needing a little bit more cap space to kind of operate at a decent level this upcoming season, they need to make some more moves, and that's probably going to happen in the form of a restructure, like this Dion Dawkins settlement happens. And there's only a couple of candidates that really make sense to get Buffalo into that realm of $4 million to $6 million of operating room. Starting with Dawson Knox here, excuse me, I say Dion Dawkins. Dawson Knox here. He creates about $6.2 million in cap space according to Over the Cap with a restructure here. And that makes sense. I want to keep Dawson Knox in town, and I think he loves being in Buffalo here. I think he wouldn't mind accepting a sort of restructure. That would get Buffalo to about $7.5 million in cap space if this number is correct. And that would give the Bills probably the opportunity to get through some of these practice squad elevations, get through some of these injury designations, and maybe go out there and sign a free agent if they feel they need to. DaQuan Jones also is a restructure candidate. He could create close to $5 million in some room according to Over the Cap. And look, I don't know if Jones is going to want to make a restructure for his deal. He's going to be a free agent here in the coming offseason, so we'll see how that all gets saddled up. I think that one's a little bit less likely than a Dawson Knox restructure. Curtis Samuel is another name. Like, he's going to be on the chopping block after this season, and I don't think it makes sense really for Buffalo to commit to money to him long term, because that's what a restructure does. It stretches money down the line. Dion Dawkins, like, the Bills will be paying his base salary for this upcoming year, he'll be paying it in $2 million chunks for the next 5 seasons. So, like, it just stretches money down the line. I don't think the Bills want to commit, long-term money to DaQuan Jones or Curtis Samuel if they're not going to be a part of this thing for the long run. Now, the Bills could also create some more cap space by extending Connor McGovern here. That could save you $4.2 million. So another avenue to go down there. And McGovern's been a pretty solid center in this league. No complaints from me. I don't think he is a guy that is going to command huge money at the center position. But look, that's absolutely an avenue that Buffalo could go down. They have one of the best offensive line units in the league, especially chemistry-wise. And I think keeping McGovern around would be a nice in-season move to create some cap space. Pick one to restructure, though, out of the 3 names that we just talked about. Dawson Knox, type DK in the comments section. DaQuan Jones, type DJ. And if it's Curtis Samuel, give me a CS down below. Who would you guys pick to restructure in Buffalo? Next, we're going to get some free agent options. If you were to make one of those restructures happen and you have some room to operate with and maybe make an external signing, we have 2 names to talk about. And we'll get into the Bills and Ravens injury reports that were released on Wednesday, the first official injury report of the 2025 season. Football is almost here. We'll tell you guys all about it in just a moment. But first, get hooked up with our proud sponsor of the program, and that is PrizePicks. You guys, and me and you guys make choices every single day, but make the right choice and choose PrizePicks as your daily fantasy sports platform where you can win up to 2,000 times your money watching your Buffalo Bills this season. I've won over $11,000 on PrizePicks. I've been a customer longer than they were even a sponsor here at Chat Sports because I love the interface and I love that you can win real money in real time. The deposits and the withdrawals are super quick, and they always want to make it easier for you guys to win real money. They hook you up with awesome deals like a free $50 in lineups instantly when you place your first $5 lineup. You just got to use code CLNS when you do. And if you guys want to see my lineup for week 1, all you guys got to do is pick more or less on a player's projected stats. It's that simple. James Cook in week 1, I got more than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. Josh Allen, I have more than 31.5 rushing yards. And Dak Prescott, a free square for Thursday night, I got more than half a passing yard. Take advantage of that deal because it's going to expire soon. And if I had all 3 of these picks, my money is multiplied by 6x. You can tell my picks or fade them. Just do it at PrizePicks. Download the app today and use the code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. All right, the Ravens Wednesday injury report here. A couple things of note here and a new name on the list as well. Jaire Alexander, limited participant in practice due to a knee injury. It looks like he'll be ready to go for week 1. They're kind of just keeping their new addition to the secondary on ice. Guard Daniel Faalele there. He's limited with an illness. I don't think that's something that's going to keep him out long term. He looks like he will be ready to go for week 1 as well. Isaiah Likely, though, that does not look too likely as far as his availability for week 1 goes. He's dealing with a foot injury, has not practiced since late July when training camp officially opened, and John Harbaugh, I think, is really indicating that he's not going to be ready to go for week 1. But you don't see Mark Andrews on this list as he was previously not practicing on Monday. He looks ready to go, and he looks like he's got a vengeance after making that big fumble in the playoffs last year. And Patrick Ricard is that new name on the injury report here. Did not practice due to a calf injury. John Harbaugh had previously said that it is a soft tissue issue. Rhyming accidentally there. But it looks like his status for week 1 is in jeopardy as well, and that cannot be understated. I mean, the Bills fans know Reggie Gilliam's a huge part of the offense and the special teams. Patrick Ricard is the exact same thing, even more so in Baltimore. He's been an all-pro fullback in this league. That could be a big loss on Sunday. For the Bills injury report, we got Tyler Bass, limited participant with a hip and groin injury. Remember, the Bills brought in some kickers on some tryouts. They are keeping tabs on Tyler Bass's health here, but he should be good to go for week 1. He looked okay enough health-wise in that preseason finale. DeWayne Carter, obviously, they just haven't created the IR spot for him yet. He tore his Achilles. Sean McDermott said he's not playing for the foreseeable future. It's going to be the entire NFL season. Khalil Shakir, full participant with that ankle. That was known. He returned to practice in full on Wednesday, and he should be ready to go in his full capacity and reps for week 1, playing 70% of the snaps or more. Let's talk about some other Bills injuries here. These probably are a little bit more concerning. Keon Coleman getting on the injury report in week 1. Limited participant with a groin injury that they're saying here. That's not good because you have question marks surrounding Khalil Shakir's health a little bit there. I would really prefer if Keon Coleman was out 100% as well as Shakir heading into week 1. Christian Benford, we know he's kind of been limited at practice, but he was back. He's dealing with the groin, and we'll see how well he's ready to go for week 1 because that's what Sean McDermott said. He said, we'll see when it comes to the status of Christian Benford. That's not a great sign for me, even though he was a limited, at least, participant in practice. And then Trey White was a DNP. Well, his status is still up in the air as well, but Sean McDermott did not rule him out for week 1. That is absolutely something of note here. And they're calling it a groin injury, not like a lower body knee or leg or anything that's been bothering him in the past. So that's kind of good news here. We'll see if they're just keeping him on ice and he'll be ready to go for week 1. We'll keep you guys updated on that. That's why you subscribe. The Bills may need more reinforcements in the secondary, though. And that's where we're kind of segueing into the free agent options that are out there for Buffalo after they could potentially restructure like a Dawson Knox and create like $7 million or so in cap space. The secondary has major question marks, not only when it comes to the skill level, but it also comes to the injuries that are stacking up. I mean, not only at safety, but at corner. Tre'Davious White got a big-time injury looming right now. Christian Benford, we don't even know what his status is. They're being very coy about all these injuries in Buffalo. And then you have Maxwell Harrison, your first-round pick, is on injured reserve for the first 4 weeks of the year. And then, you have concerns about the true skill level of your safety room. And, there's injury concerns there with Cole Bishop and Taylor Rapp being banged up in their history before. So there's absolutely question marks in the secondary. Definitely the most questionable part or position group of the Bills roster here. So could you look at a free agent addition like an old friend, Stephon Gilmore here, who started his career in Buffalo? He's 34 years old right now, but look, I know the top-end speed's not there anymore for him, but he put up some numbers last year, like 9 PBUs, a pick back in 2024, and look, he's been no stranger to making plays past the age of 30, right? Like 17 games played in Dallas back in 2023, 13 PBUs, 2 picks. Back in 2022 with Indianapolis, he was really good. 11 PBUs there and 2 picks. Again, like this guy just puts up numbers. And like, I'm not saying that he's going to be your every down guy, but he could be worth a 1-year kind of prove it deal here, age 34 with the Bills. I mean, the Bills are no strangers to signing aging veteran cornerbacks that have played in Buffalo before. Trey White's just starting CB1 in week 1 if he's good to go. So like to say that Stephon Gilmore would be a crazy free agent target, I think would be a little naive. Talking about Justin Simmons here a little bit too. We've talked about him a little bit on the channel as the Bills safety room has some question marks during the preseason. The Bills did look into Justin Simmons a little bit ago, like last year when he was the first time he was a free agent. And I don't think they were super keen on how good of a run defender he was, especially at this point in his career. We know Justin Simmons has been that back-end shell safety, kind of your last line of defense, but as a run defender, it's really not his forte. Plus, he's at the age of 31 right now, but a nice safety valve back there. I think he's better than Damar Hamlin. He would just command a whole heck of a lot more money than Hamlin would. He's also talked about wanting to be a starter at this point in his career. But you can't argue that he's put up numbers. He's definitely lost a step at this point in his career, but he's been a multiple-time like all-pro in this league. So I don't think you can shake your head at Justin Simmons, especially when if one safety goes down, you're playing Damar Hamlin 70% of the defensive snaps, and that's not a good sign for me. So pick one to sign before we get out of today's show. Stephon Gilmore, give me an SG down in the comment section. Justin Simmons, type a JS down below. Which veteran secondary member would you like to sign if Buffalo had the opportunity? That'll do it for today's show. Make sure you are following me over on Twitter. We'll be tweeting about the Bills all week long leading up to the game and live during the game as well. All season long, we're covering Buffalo. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Even more coverage over here on YouTube. We'll get more videos like this every single day. And a watch party on Sunday. Ravens, Bills, Sunday Night Football. Be there. Turn those noties on. We'll see you guys in the next one. As always, let's go Buffalo.